Good evening, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 26, 2024. We are in the Eldon F. Marrero Board of Selectmen meeting room. The time is 6:30. Please be aware that this meeting is being recorded for use on the internet and our local cable station. If you could all join me in standing for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, the first thing on the agenda is a continuation of a public hearing. The notice was read at our last meeting, and at this time, the application is for a beer and wine off-premise liquor license transfer for Jamin Corp., DBA The Corner Market, 227 Matfield Street. Why don't you guys, if you wouldn't mind, just come on up and pull another chair up if you like.
Sure. Thank you all for your time tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackson Christian, an attorney at Democus Law Offices, and I represent Jay Kumar Kotak and Ankita Patel, and they formed Jamin Corporation. As you said, they're purchasing the West Bridgewter Corner Market from James Johnson at 227 Matfield Street. So it's going to continue to operate as a convenience store selling store items and also beer and wine. So Jay and Ankita are the partners in the corporation. Pravesh Patel is going to be the manager of record. He's tip certified and has experience with alcohol sales. And he also met with Russell Regan. He wasn't able to attend today, but he met with Sergeant Russell Regan to discuss some of the West Bridgewater laws. And so there's just two things we're requesting from the board tonight. It's just the approval of the transfer of the off-premises beer and wine license, and secondly is approval of Pravesh Patel as the manager of record.
Super. We have one question in particular that we ask everybody who comes in front of us for a liquor license, and that is, do you understand our liquor license laws? And if you have any questions, now's a great time to ask them, because if there happens to be an incident or something, obviously you're coming back to us as the Liquor Control Board, and that's something we like to avoid and get ahead of now. So.
Yes, I definitely understand all of the laws. I've been tip certified, and I run another store in Norton.
Okay.
It's called J. Kodak LLC DBA Sun Market, and we do have beer and wine over there. And as of last week, we got approved for liquor license.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anything?
No.
No.
Your application, we've reviewed it. It's complete. And with that in mind,
Ready for a motion?
yes.
I make a motion to accept the application for beer and wine off-premise liquor license transfer of Jamin Corp. DBA The Corner Market, 227 Matfield Street, barring any final inspections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, at this point, I actually need a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All
Gentlemen?
set. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Good night.
Okay. Moving on to the next section, we have some appointments, and the first is to vote on the FY25 appointments to boards and committees, which will be approved by the Board of Selectmen. With that in mind, there's several appointments on the docket, and I guess I would ask to Mike and or Marcy if you have any questions about any of these appointments, because if not, what we'll do is we'll vote in whole.
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
Okay. With that in mind, I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointments to boards and committees.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointments to boards and committees.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Super. Next on the agenda is to ratify non-union personnel contracts, specifically Rob Casper, who is our health agent. Again, I've reviewed the contract. I have no questions.
I don't have any questions either.
No questions.
All right. So we want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve Robert Casper, health agent's contract as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Moving along, vote to reclassify Mary Ann Pierce from Principal Secretary to Head Secretary.
Yep. No, it's she's done a very good job. She's been with us for a handful of years. With the promotion of Daniela to principal assessor, this is the correct next step.
Anything to add, Paula, or?
No, Marion's been great down there. She really helps Daniela hold everything together. After Ann left and before we got Ann, so she's been a valuable asset down there. So no issues or anything like that. We hate to do anything to lose her.
Awesome. Mike, anything?
Nope, I have nothing.
Marcy?
No.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to reclassify Marianne Pierce from principal secretary to head secretary.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
It's Monday.
Next is approve the meeting minutes of May 6th and May 15th.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of May 6th and May 15th, 2024.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is to accept the meeting minutes of June 5th, 2024 for review.
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of June 5th, 2024 for review.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next up, there's a special permit for the ZBA for 864 and 684 and 686 Manley Street, contractor offices and storage yard. So this is just a discussion where we make a recommendation to the ZBA. I don't know if you want to.
Yep. So this one here, F and G, are the same owner, contiguous parcels, looking to become a contractor's yard on both properties. This used to be one property that was split at the planning board a year or two ago. And so if you want to take them individually or together, that's your choice. It will go to the ZBA for a special permit. It will also go to the planning board for a special permit as well, because it is in the water district zone. You'll recall that we went to town meeting this past year to streamline that process. So if it's in the water resource district zone, it will not have to go to both boards, it'll only go to one. Although it was approved at town meeting, it has to go to the Attorney General's office for her review and her approval, and she has 90 days after town meeting. So that will not come in until early fall. So in the meantime, we are still operating under the existing current bylaw. So with that said, it'll go before both boards. Your review at this point is to make any recommendations to either board, good or bad, about what you would like to see or not see.
I don't have anything particular for either one of the two locations. My concern usually lies when it's adjacent to a residential neighborhood where there can be some noise and lighting and other things along those lines that present a problem. But I think at this point, for me, I'm comfortable with this being in the ZBA's hands to make the right judgment.
And you'll see that this is clearly it's in the industrial area, but we do have residential homes on Manley Street that are in currently residential area. But in this case, we do not. You'll see it is right before the Brockton line on Manley Street, because you see the Brockton processing the U.S. Postal Service there. So it is in the right area. It's in our current industrial zoning. So I think to your point, it's minimal residential impact.
I agree. I don't think it's really going to affect anybody. So
No, I agree, and I have no problem voting on these together.
So, yeah, I'll make a motion to vote just to defer to the ZBA on both pieces of property. A second.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
All right. Next is vote to award the Surgy DPW supply contracts from July 1st to June 30th, 2025. I'm just going to say this again, July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025.
So as you know, I'm a member of the Sursage procurement consortium. There's 27 communities. We go out to bid on an annual basis for different contracts. So you see this come before you multiple times. For DPW this evening, it is for the supply contracts. So as you can see in front of you, that includes like crushed concrete. Other times we come before you in reference to DPW, it may have to do with services such as tub grinding, or it's going to have to deal with chemicals that we say we put in the water. This is for supplies. And the next one is the same thing. It's a Sursage contract that we go out to bid. And so we make sure that we get the best price that we possibly can by using volume of all those municipalities. So before you, I would be asking for a vote to approve both as presented.
I'll make that motion to award the Surgers DPW supply contract and the contract for paper with WB Mason, both from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025.
Second?
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Super. All right, next on the agenda is communication reports from boards, commissions, and town officials. Vote to accept Bob Beavis's resignation from the Historical Commission.
Make a motion to accept Bob Beavis's resignation from Historical Commission.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
If we could send a thank you.
We will, and although we do it for everybody, I will say Bob, and along with his wife Donna, but they've been long time, they've been very much engaged in a civic basis in West Bridgewater for a very long time. So it's sad to see that they're unable to be able to do it anymore, but we will certainly do that.
Super. Thank you. And to fill his shoes, next item on the agenda is to appoint Hugh Hurley to the Historical Commission.
Make a motion to appoint Hugh Hurley to the Historical Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we move on a vote to remove Pamela Anderson Livingston from the ADA Committee.
Make a motion to remove Pamela Anderson Livingston from the ADA Committee.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence from the public to determine a course of action. We have none. Public comment period. We have one member of the quote-unquote public. Paula.
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
I think I got nothing for tonight.
Well, we will run with that.
Go with why you had, I could change my mind.
Thank you, Paula. Town administrators report.
So this next one is a little exciting. Verizon contacted me looking for a support letter. There is a federal grant through the state that is available where they will be able to create infrastructure in the town of West Bridgewater to bring FiOS into town. So this 7 years ago, it was 2017, the Board of Selectmen received quite a few complaints saying that Comcast was a monopoly in town and for us to try to do something. And we sent letters out to Verizon, Cox, Spectrum. We sent them out to everybody. So 7 years later, it just goes to show that the wheels of government are certainly slow. But the reality is that there is now federal money that is available through the infrastructure grant. And so they are taking advantage of it. So they will build out FiOS or Verizon infrastructure in the town of West Bridgewater if they receive this grant. Excuse me. The grant is specifically tied to certain communities, but entire of West Bridgewater will qualify for it. So hopefully, I mean, it'll probably take a year or two, but hopefully if they secure the grant, they can start to build up the town so people in town then will have options. So I signed a support letter and sent it off to them and to the state utilities division as well.
Super. It'd be fantastic.
Right?
And again, it costs us nothing. Just gives us more opportunity. So, Fuss & O'Neill, they have the low bidder for the engineering services on the fish ladder. You remember that we went to town meeting. We received $84,000 from CPC funds, so that way we could do engineering and do the project there. And the rest of their contract is for $325,000. $240,000 of it will be paid for by the state grant, and we had to match it with CPC funds, which we did at town meeting. So now that that's been approved, this contract is here. I've signed it. Again, just an FYI to the board that we're moving forward with it. Non-union compensation on an annual basis. You normally will sign contracts for all of your department heads, so they are on employment contracts, or we will every 3 years negotiate with our unions to sign collective bargaining agreements. A handful of other employees fall into the non-union, non-contractual status. So they are, for example, secretaries to our very small boards. Rent Control Board is one of them. Planning Board, Zoning Board of Appeals. So we budget for them in the budgets that was passed at town meeting. So again, this is a memo to the board that I've sent off. We provide them all the same raises we gave everybody else, was 3% again budgeted. But this is the list of people. So again, an FYI to the board that will take effect FY25 as well. Our next scheduled meeting will be July 24th. I'm informing you of that because we will now enter our summer schedule. So in July and August, we only meet once a month, so it'll be a little bit different. So if you show up here the first Wednesday in July, you will be alone. But July 24th will be our next scheduled meeting. And the last is that at a recent meeting, you signed a contract, the S&M contract for the ADA accessibility grant. That is for the water department and for the DPW department. They actually came in a little bit under budget, so therefore we are actually going to do additional work. So the money stays the same, it's all paid for through the grant, just letting you know that there's no impact, but there's some additional work that's being done. The last thing is that I just want to say thank you to the board and to a lot of our staff in town, but specifically our police department and our fire department, as the last week was pretty tough on everybody. But we had a very nice send-off and ceremony for Officer Kaminsky on Monday night and Tuesday. I know the board was there, and under duress and under some really difficult situation, both departments were stellar. And so just wanted to make sure that I made note of that.
Yeah. I've expressed that to a few people, but again, obviously it'd be great if none of us was there to begin with, but the service and sort of the ceremony that the police department gave, obviously the support of the fire department, as well as many other departments in town, was just first class, and they should know that they sent their brother, if you will, out in the best way they possibly could. So
They did.
and with that, and nothing else on the agenda other than I'm going to ask to entertain a motion to executive session, not to return to open session for purposes of conducting a strategy session for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically the building commissioner. At this time, I'll need a roll call vote.
Perez, yes.
Ryan, yes.
Lee, yes.
All right. So thank you all very much.
All of you. All of them.
Yes.